I'd like to introduce you to my new muse, the lion's mane mushroom. I'd never even had them until recently, but I am obsessed, and I've been eating a ton of them and learning a lot about them. For one, they're members of the tooth fungus group, which, like many other mushrooms, grow on decaying trees in nature, and then in greenhouses, they're grown on bags of soybean hulls and wood chips. If you're not familiar with tooth fungus, clearly you never saw photos of Honey Boo Boo's mom and dad, or read Species Planetarum of 1753 by Linnaeus, aka the father of taxonomy. Scientific fact, there exists not a single Homo sapien on this planet who gets both of those references. For Team Honey Boo Boo, taxonomy, it's sort of like pronouns, but for plants and animals and shit. So if you remember from high school biology, there's kingdom, phylum, something, 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 then genus and species, and they taught this mnemonic to remember it, which is King Philip calls out for good soup, and that stands for kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And since science is always evolving, I think we should update that. My vote is Kardashian photo shoots clearly offer fake gender stereotypes, or Caitlyn's penis can't ovulate female genetic stuff. But that's just me. So circling back to tooth fungus, which is rarely a phrase anyone wants to hear, the mushrooms in this group are actually not quite as closely related as our boy Linnaeus originally thought, so they actually fall into multiple genera, which is the plural word for genus. Sorry to bore you with all the sciencey talk if you're not one of those homos who love biology. Oh no, I don't mean gay, I mean homo as in the generic term for human. You know, because generic means referring to the genus or the genera of, in this case, Homo sapien. What? You spent your whole life thinking that generic just meant like some knockoff brand of cereal like Fruity Pellets or some shit, when really it's referring to the second most specific category in biology, and the most specific is referring to the species? Are you fucking serious right now? Did you just show up for a mushroom recipe and get your frontal cortex blown straight off of your head? And you haven't even tried these mushrooms yet. And these mushrooms are excellent for increasing cognitive function, regenerating brain cells, and protecting against dementia. So if you're cooking one for your partner and you don't want them getting too slick, I learned this on the news, it's pretty cool. What you're gonna wanna do is season it with a little bit of Red 40, and it cancels out all the smart mushroomy shit. And best yet, they'll keep blindly believing everything that you say instead of thinking for themselves. Another one of my favorite things about these lion's mane mushrooms is they're crazy easy to cook. I'm just gonna put it here in the pan with a little olive oil and salt and pepper, and it's gonna be perfect. I definitely suggest cooking in cast iron over non-stick. Teflon coatings have chemicals that allegedly cause a bunch of disorders and cancers, whereas cast iron has a chemical that causes a feeling of moral superiority and the uncontrollable urge to tell the life story of the pan, even though no one gives a fuck. For instance, my grandma, she's from the South. People in the South love cooking on cast iron, and her dad was a farmer. They used to grow green beans and watermelons and squash and stuff in the summer, and then they would can stuff to prepare for the winter. And then 75 years later, I was at Costco buying a couch, and I got these cast iron pans, and I've been better than you ever since. So I'm gonna press the mushroom in this pan with this other cast iron pan, but you can use a spatula if you're less than half as good as me. These are perfect to put on anything, so I just put it on some avocado toast. It's fucking delicious.